This would set them to be about 500% undervalued as of right now, which is just absurd to think about. But with what they're trying to do, it's not completely unreasonable, especially if they can get to that FDA approval. Hey guys, welcome to DreamCoin, where we show you how to invest for a better tomorrow. My name is Tyler, and today we're going to be touching up on some of the news that came out today with Novan and their 1-for-10 reverse stock split that they're putting into effect, where I think this is going to take the stock going forward, and why I think this is actually bullish news for them long term. So to quickly go over the company as a whole for anybody new to them and just hearing about them from this news, they're a company that specializes in treatments in the dermatology field. They're doing stuff with different coronaviruses, whether that be with the common cold or COVID-19 and different things along those lines. Now, their main trial that they've been looking at over time is a dermatology treatment. Code name is going to be SB206. This is going to be a phase 3 trial that they're looking at to see how it would affect a skin infection that happens from even young children down to about 6 months old. And there's not any specific treatment that's FDA approved for this kind of stuff right now. If they were to get approval and their data would come out well and the FDA agreed with their data, they would be the first of their kind in the field to basically get a approval for the types of treatments that they're trying to do for this skin condition. But the vast majority of patients that are diagnosed with molluscum are given different prescriptions that aren't specifically stated for the skin condition and are actually just used to diagnose things that are related to it in hopes that it would work. And this usually comes with no clinical efficacy proven for the different cases, and it's more just kind of like a Hail Mary to try to treat these conditions for these people. And the average time to resolution with or without these experimental treatments, even if they heal on their own, is anywhere from 13 months to 24 months generally, especially with younger children having more of that longer timeline for how long it takes for them to recover from the skin lesions and everything. They do have a bit of their top line data expected to come out before the end of Q2, and there's obviously a significant amount of follow-up time that they're looking to do for this treatment, just because they want to analyze and see if there's any adverse effects that happen post-treatment to people, especially in younger children, and different things that would correlate to experimental therapy like this. A lot of their expenses and stuff that they make from their revenue goes towards research and development, so whether their data is positive or negative, I do expect them to try to adapt and see what they can do to overcome any negative results they might have. And then for a lot of you that are just hearing about them, you're probably hearing about the 1-for-10 reverse stock split. So basically, for every 10 shares that an investor holds right now, they're looking to turn that into 1 share to basically make the share setup not as diluted for the future. There's going to be a few scenarios that I'll go into in a few of why this is very positive for them and why I think they're positive. But essentially, they needed to be in compliance to stay listed on NASDAQ and everything because they were under that $1 threshold. So not only does it help them comply with that, but it also sets them up to possibly be able to get more funding by issuing more shares that aren't right now authorized to the public. And this would help with funding of more of that research and development and data studies that they're trying to progress to be able to get compliance with the FDA and get possibly a mainstream treatment out for people. Now, as we look at previous price targets for Novan, before they did their reverse stock split announcement, where they're trading today, they were down to 85 cents after they had their reverse stock split news, and they've been trading between that $1, $1.50 range over the last week. But the price targets for them had a low of $2 and a high as $4.50. So this would set them up from current levels to be possibly 400-500% undervalued from where certain institutions and different analysts predict that they could be as a company that's going into the next couple years and what they're doing with their treatments. And if we look at the Zacks small cap research report that was just put out after the announcement of the reverse stock split with their updates on where they see the company going forward, you can see that they did have a valuation of over $4.50 for the company at the current price levels before the split happened. So they're that high-end price that we were talking about just a minute ago. And this was based on their current price of being $1.40 as of yesterday, May 24th. And they did outline some of the benefits of why NOVN stock having a reverse split is good for both the stock in general for investors and for Novan going forward. But the main things are that, you know, like I brought up already, they're able to get more funds from different things, like possibly getting more partnership negotiations or being able to authorize putting out more shares for share issuances, obviously, to raise funds that way, and possibly look bigger on NASDAQ terms and get a little more eyes on them for not only like commercialization activities, but just getting people that want to work with the team to market for them. This is also going to give them a lot of leeway for staying compliant on NASDAQ, so they're not delisted and can keep them at a strong point for a lot of people to be invested in them. And then also looks good for institutional shareholders, because a lot of institutional shareholders generally try to stray away from low price assets. Penny stocks can be extremely volatile. You know, if somebody's trying to be a little safer with their investment strategies and everything like that, they're going to try to stay away from things that are about $5 or less. This is going to set them up to be on the radar for a lot of those institutional shareholders overall as well. And this is very good in general, just for where the company could be going into the future with what they're trying to currently do with their different studies. And to summarize a lot of this, Zacks research on the company Novan actually did say that they still value them at about $4.50 a share pre-split, which would basically set them up to be valued over $45 post-split once everything settles down and they get more of their data out for their studies and everything along those lines. And a lot of their data is expected to come out in the next month or two for those studies, so this sets up to possibly be very nice. If they get this reverse split out, they put out some nice positive data, it starts raising the price, and then, you know, they possibly approach the FDA, get approval for their different stuff, especially because they're doing COVID-19 and coronavirus treatments alongside this dermatology treatment stuff that they're looking to do. This would allow them to be in a very good place as a company for where they could be seeing themselves over the next couple years. Now, to kind of analyze the price now and where it's going to be sitting tomorrow after the reverse split is supposed to be put through, because it was supposed to be put through today, May 25th, around 5 Eastern, where the shares are locked, and then tomorrow around open, everything is supposed to be in effect with all the shares settled and everybody getting the proper amounts put in their accounts. We were resting around that 85-cent area, if not like slightly lower around close. Right at close, it was sitting about 84.14. So this would set them up to open tomorrow around $8.40. And this is because, you know, when you do a reverse stock split, the shares are less diluted in nature, even though everybody's amounts are going to be the same. You're not changing the amount in your account or anything like that. It's more just like you're readjusting the values for everything based on the amount of there being less shares in the market. So this will put them about $8.40. And if we look at the target that Zacks had for them, where they would be priced $40 to $45 long term for a price target, this would set them to be about 500% undervalued as of right now, which is just absurd to think about. But with what they're trying to do, it's not completely unreasonable, especially if they can get to that FDA approval. I'm going to be looking for their data to come out and get everything going with the company. If they can get more positive data out after this split, this is going to be very good for them. I can see in the short term over the next month them reaching that double-digit area if they don't do any share offerings or anything, and this would put them about like 10 to 15 bucks per share after the split. If they do a share offering, obviously that's going to dilute it for a bit. We also might have some people that are a little hesitant about management after this, even though I don't think there's a valid reason for that. And where I see this is a lot of people that are hesitant on the company right now are going to be dumping all of their shares, while a lot of the people that are very bullish on them long term are just going to be loading up and holding on and seeing where they can get their data out over the next year or two with everything that they're trying to do between dermatology and COVID. That's where I'm going to be over the next year and a half. I'm going to see if they can get to that $30 to $40 range and sit in there, and then I'll come back and kind of revisit where they're at and see how they're performing long term. I just wanted to thank you guys for the continued support over the last few months doing videos. We are getting very close to that 1,000 subscriber range, which is just wild to think about. Obviously, I'm advancing more into crypto and everything too, but I'll still obviously be doing stock updates and touching on different news for stocks and everything like that as well. And I'll be looking to get out any of the new relevant information on stuff that I've touched on in the past. So if you are invested in any of the things that I've talked about before, you can expect that I'll be revisiting them with any relevant information as they come up, such as I did with CCIV and Fisker with their latest news over the weekend. Other than that, that's going to do it for me in this video today, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.